This one's for the horse girls who are a little bit horny. Wait, no. This is not that kind of channel. Clearly, I need a little bit of help. Thankfully, Fleureo is here for this episode, which is about unicorns.
Yeah. Well, my name's Fleureo. You can find me I'm on YouTube as Fleureo Files, and just all the other social media is pretty much just like Fleureo Files.
What comes to mind when I say unicorn?
I mean, I'm like my whole childhood probably. I don't know. I was like really obsessed with unicorns and Pegasuses and horses and stuff when I was a kid. They were everywhere. Yeah, I had pictures. I had bedspread. I was obsessed with The Last Unicorn, and then I forgot about that story. And then I accidentally wrote it again in creative writing class in like grade 11. I didn't realize it was that story, and I got like an A+. I wrote it like almost word for word. I'm like, I blocked that story out. Even right now, I'm like, I can't remember what it's about, but somehow I did that. And then my mom like read it or something, and she was like, this is The Last Unicorn. I used to read that to you every night. I'm like, oh my God. I totally forgot. And I got like an A on it. I told the teacher, and I was like, I could write something else. I feel bad because I did that. I didn't even realize I did that. And they were like, no, they're like, that's kind of interesting. They're like, it's fine. Just keep the grade.
So you told me that wonderful story about unicorns. I love that story. I just have a few follow-up questions. Does Mesopotamia come to mind when I say unicorns?
No.
How about curing tummy aches?
No.
Does Confucius come to mind?
No.
Oh, beer?
I'm Canadian, so if you're referring to something as an American thing, I think that's where you're headed.
Fun fact,
here.
It's actually not an American thing.
Okay, well, I have no idea.
Okay. How about virgins? Are virgins an American thing?
No, but I mean, like, virgins associated with unicorns. I don't.
Okay, and last follow up. How about Jesus? Does that come to mind when I say unicorns?
No.
Oh, do I got something for you then? You're gonna love this. So we're going to go into the early descriptions of unicorns. And we have to go all the way back to the Indus Valley civilization. This is 3300 BC to 1300 BC. This is Mesopotamia. This is ancient Egypt. Found in modern-day Afghanistan, Pakistan, and India. People who were important in society would have a seal on their documents, which looked like the profile of a horse with a single horn. So yeah, here are these seals. What does that kind of look like to you?
That it looks like a bull.
Okay, you would say it looks like a bull. This is more likely an animal called an auroch, and it is now an extinct breed of ox. So like we could figure that out.
Oh yeah, an ox actually. Yeah, no, yeah. It looks like an ox. Like the Egyptians. I love ancient Egypt since I was very young, and they have carvings of like oxen and stuff that look like that. Yeah.
They called this the Indus unicorn because they were like, that's clearly a thing with one horn, as you can tell by this artistic depiction of this animal. It can't possibly have two horns. It's one of our first views of what might be called a unicorn.
But who's they? Archaeologists?
We're gonna get to that.
Because like some of the original archaeologists from back in the day were like super misogynistic and other issues.
I mean, they probably are today too, let's be honest.
Well, no, they're better. They do point out the past issues, and there was a lot of anti-Semitism as well with the early archaeologists too. So yeah, they assumed a lot of stuff that wasn't accurate.
The script is old. I don't think there's anti-Semitism in it. I can't remember. We'll find out.
I wanted to be an archaeologist until I was 14. Like I was hardcore into this. So like I know too much. And then I do recommend watching Mini Minuteman. His name is Milo. He's an archaeologist, and he goes around debunking all the problems.
Person who has suggested that to me, and I still have yet
He's
to
so
go
good.
Watch.
Oh,
I think
no,
Mason
he's
suggested
great.
him to me as well, and I haven't watched him yet.
He's really good. He debunks all the like conspiracy theory crap and all the archaeology misunderstandings and things like that. He's very good.
Is he also on Nebulous now?
I have no idea. But like he's young. He'll keep your attention. His videos are well done. No. Yeah, he's good. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think
he's like the Indiana Jones. He's like the Indiana Jones of YouTube. essentially.
I might have to bleep you saying that because I don't know if I want Kenny on this video. Anyway, we're going to go to classic antiquity in Greece. So the name unicorn originally was monokeros, meaning one horn, obviously. Mono, and then keros. Later, it was made into the word unicorn. The name change is part of the reason unicorns are in the Bible, but more on that later. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. A horse version of a one-horned creature was in accounts of natural history. So this is where the they comes from.
Okay.
There's various writers, including Strabo, Pliny the Younger. Wasn't he the one that saw the ghost too?
Yeah, Pliny the Younger is involved in the first ghost investigation.
Well,
yeah.
he comes back up.
I'm not surprised.
Aelin and Cosmos Indicopolatus. That's what I'm going with. I'll put the names up, and you can all tell me how to pronounce them better. I encourage it.
Yeah, I think it's Pliny. Is it Pliny? I can't remember. I know I googled it for the pronunciation at one point, but yeah. I recognize his name. Yeah.
Cetius, being the most cited in my research, is from 400 BCE and said to be the first description of a unicorn in Western society. Is from the 400 BCE time period. He described them in his book Indica, Indika, on India.
Oh, okay.
So he was living in like Persia at the time, and when he received information, he was living in Persia, not in India. Received information. There was creatures in India that were believed to be wild asses. So wild donkeys, we'll call them. They were large, or at least larger than a horse. They had a white body with a purple head and blue eyes.
Huh.
Maybe a little bit.
I mean,
Go ahead.
To be fair, this kind of tracks for this time period. This time period, like, also gave us Atlantis. Like, there's a lot of random writing. There was a lot of assumptions made about cultures and stuff back then. And it was based off, like, rumor mill. Like, essentially, like, someone heard a folklore story and they decided to make it history. And then they write it down in a book. And they've never been to that country. And that ended up becoming history for some reason.
I also made a note here to be very careful when hearing colors from this time period. The way that ancient Greeks and Romans described colors is not how we would describe colors today. As for example, Greeks did not describe they think the color of blood is the same color as the sea in Homer's Odyssey.
It's weird.
Yeah, so just be a little, when they say these colors, maybe we don't agree with those colors. Maybe we're like, that's not how I would say it.
I just, like, are they saying that the sea that he was in, was it the Red Sea? Like, is that what they were trying to say?
No, they're saying the color's the same. There is a great, I have to look it up. There's a great NPR thing about how, like, blue was the last color developed in language. So, like, because it's not
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because it was, like, the first color in, like, a lot of ancient cultures. Blue was heavily used. It was very easy to come by, and it was heavily used in, like, clothing and jewelry and everything. So that's interesting.
Yeah. But, like, blue of the sky and blue of a textile is very different. And, like, it took a long time to get blue dye specifically, or like what we would see as like blue dye, not like an indigo or a purple.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it was probably more like the royal blue, which is that was expensive dye back then. But like the ancient Egyptians, they did a lot of blue stuff, but it was probably more like azure.
Yeah,
kind of like the sort of turquoisey blue.
Yeah. So let's be careful when we hear these colors. Let's not hold them to it. This animal that they keep describing, it has a horn coming out of its forehead that is a cubit and a half, which means nothing to me, so I looked it up. It's about 700 millimeters or 28 inches in length.
That's very long.
Yeah.
That's like, okay. This is starting to sound like narwhals. It's like, is it narwhals? Those things in the water? Narwhals, that's it. I was like, yeah, okay, narwhals. It started to sound like them.
Don't forget about those. They do come back up, but we're in India. There's a red
I used to love mermaids too, so like those come up in like mermaid talk too.
Yeah.
So
okay, the horn itself is red in the tip, black in the middle, and white at the base. We won't say what that reminds us of. The cubit is an ancient form of measurement, being the length of a forearm to the tip of the finger, of the tip of the middle finger to the elbow-ish region.
This is different, though.
Yeah, it's different. So who knows what that means? This is what was drawn from the description of what I've just given you.
Mm-hmm.
This is what was drawn. We can see that, yeah.
I think I've seen this evolve into a demon in Ars Goetia.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It ran very quickly. Their
Right.
meat was said to taste bitter. They weren't hunted for their meat because it tasted so bad. Instead, they were hunted for their horns.
Yeah. Because all animals are, because it's an aphrodisiac.
Well, if you drank from their horn, it was said to protect you from poison, epilepsy, and just general tummy troubles if you drank from the horn. And just
God.
so you don't have tummy troubles.
Okay. I mean, this animal might have existed. There's a plant as well that was in like it's Greek or Roman. It's in all their texts, and it's like a cure-all, and it's like allspice. Like it's a spice for everything, and it's a cure-all, and it's like this magical plant, and it was like the magic of ancient cultures, and it's gone. No one knows. It's extinct.
Used it all up
which
for
is
their
crazy.
tummy aches, apparently.
Yeah, and also like the Roman, they were really good at pavement.
Mhm.
Like, we suck at it. And we have not been able to figure out the recipe for it. It is interesting. Like, we've lost knowledge
Mhm.
along the way. So, and
I
animals.
am
sure.
here to tell you this animal does exist.
Yeah. Okay.
So we're in India. It has a single horn that comes out of the middle of its head. It has some color differences, and its meat is bitter. Is there any animal that you could guess this could be?
In India?
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't know what's India specific animals. I'm not sure, other than I think panthers are from India, but like, I have no idea.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
get ready for this. This is the animal.
Oh, wait. Are they from India? Oh, I thought they were African.
There is an Indian variation of them.
Oh,
They are
okay.
African, but there is an Indian variation.
Like, I wonder if some of the coloring that they're talking about was just like, I mean, they love mud. I mean, they might have just had mud or some crap on their face when said person saw them. So
Probably like wet mud, dry mud, different variations.
Yeah, rhino horns have been hunted for like years for aphrodisiac. Like, I'm pretty sure the white rhino is like extinct now or something because they're hunted for like, and it's not an aphrodisiac. It eliminated animals' entire species because of like some fake witch doctor.
But also, y'all
Yeah,
can get
it's really
horny on your
sad.
own. Calm down.
Yeah, like I don't listen. Viagra exists in the world. Like we don't need to be making animals extinct. Just get some freaking Viagra if you want it.
So I'm going to butcher this name. I apologize already. Cosmos Indicopletus. According to Wikipedia, he was a 6th century Greek traveler who journeyed to India and the kingdom of Aksum. Gives a description of a unicorn based on a 4 bronze figure he saw in a 4-towered palace of the king of Ethiopia. So this is an ancient game of telephone. He goes, "Hey, I saw a statue in some other guy's house. Can you explain that to me?"
See, this is where the coloring could make sense, right?
Mhm.
Because in India, like they dress up their animals for their festivals and stuff.
Yeah.
They do it with their elephant. I could totally see them doing it for rhinos. Like they like dressing up the animals, and they'll put on like the headdress and stuff. So if there was like a sculpture, let's say like this king or whoever was really into rhinos. It might have been like a whatever manly thing. Like he could have done the statues all up fancy to wear headdresses and stuff like they did with elephants and other animals. So like I could see that being the misunderstanding.
I could also just see it just being someone trying to describe somebody else's interior design and be like, "Do you know what I'm talking about?" And I'm going,
yeah, but that's what I mean. Is like Italians and Indians are like fancy.
Yeah.
Like they go all crazy out. Like whatever you can think. Like if there's a piece of bare wall, that's not good. Like, you know, they like to, so it would make sense that they'd have crazy statues all decorated up and all fancy too. Like, so yeah, I could see them like misunderstanding style.
in his report, he writes, "They speak of him as a terrible beast and quite invincible, and that all its strength lies in its horn. When he finds himself pursued by many hunters and on the point of being caught, he springs up to the top of some precipice, whence he throws himself down, and in the descent turns a somersault, so that the horn sustains all the shock of the fall, and he escapes unhunted or unhurt.
It's a weird description, but I
Yeah.
could definitely see them like making up this story so that when they actually hunt one and or succeed, that it's like a bigger deal.
Mhm.
Like, yeah, and this sounds like a manly story. Like,
Yeah.
that's why
It's
we
a
need the
fishing
horn
story.
and it's
Yeah, I
manly.
agree.
Yeah. Which, side tangent to look up hippos in ancient Egypt and how they represented women, because they're the strongest and most fierce animal, which they are. They're scary. And because women survive childbirth, they gave the hippo as like the goddess to look over childbirth because it's
Yeah.
the strongest animal. So it's
Yeah.
very interesting.
Yeah. I think I did know that. I don't remember her name, but I
They
do
assign,
remember that.
yeah, I can't remember the name, but they assign animals like all through ancient cultures too. Like you'll see tigers everywhere, and it's weird because tigers only existed in like a certain country or something at the time. So like people didn't know what they like. That was a description people drew it or whatever. But then everyone started adding tigers and lions. It was tigers and lions, right? So they were like really rare, but they made it all the way up into like Europe, like in England and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and,
you
and
keep
the royal
that in mind. Don't
family.
you forget you're talking about lions and tigers and bears. Don't forget that they
But
come
yeah,
up.
like they never seen these animals actually, so they were like basing it off like artist depictions. And there's someone that sold like taxidermy. It was like a dog, but they told a king that it was like a lion or something.
Yeah.
Where was this? Might have been Russia. Anyway, it's yeah.
You're so silly. There are two different versions of the unicorn, the European and the East Asian.
Their mythos is pretty much, it's very mystical, a lot of their animals. So they go all out for sure. Yeah.
But it's so funny because like if you think about this, we also have this distinction in like real animals in the way that like there's like an African elephant and an Asian elephant. That's like the same thing with this. Like that's kind of like what we have to think about. And we're going to, as I said, we're going to talk more about the European layer. I'm going to talk about the China one. I did not look up the pronunciations for these, so I'm so sorry once again. The Qilin, found in Chinese mythology, written description date back all the way to 2700 BCE. They are described as having forwardly curved, flesh-colored horn, or horns. Sometimes they can have multiple. They have the head of a lion, the body of a deer with green or multicolored scales.
Okay.
The hero in Chinese mythology, Fuhishi, was said to have seen one in a river, and its back was covered in strange signs and magical symbols.
Yeah. This kind of like checks out for their mythology stuff.
Yeah. Wikipedia says some describe this more as a chimera than they do a unicorn, but like they said it was a unicorn, so we're going to go with that. They don't want people. They're solitary creatures who avoid conflict. They walk so lightly that they do not even disturb a blade of grass. Due to their avoidance of people and just rarity in general, they are hard to capture. This is a picture of a statue of one.
Oh, okay. That's the thing. They have a lot of mythology animals that kind of look like that, and they also kind of invented the dragon.
During the start of the Ming Dynasty, which was 1368 to 1644, the Qin changed appearance to resemble a giraffe. And I had a picture of a giraffe. I don't know if I thought people wouldn't know what a giraffe looks like, but... So why is this? It's because a giraffe was brought back to the court in Nanjing after a voyage to East Africa and presented as a gift to the emperor.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So giraffes have graceful movements and a peaceful demeanor, which went along with the already established lore of these creatures, and were shy and quiet, just like these creatures.
Right.
Also, giraffes and elephants straight up just look like cryptids if you think about it, and that's a hard stance I'm going to take. If you pretend you've never seen a giraffe before and then someone talks to you about it, I'm like, that's not real. And elephants also not real.
Yeah, no, it sounds like crazy for sure. Yeah. I mean, yeah, you can kind of think about that with some of the other animals too, right? So, because there's some weird looking ones, and also if you go in the oceans, like there's even weirder stuff down there.
Also alien.
Yeah.
Planet, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, there's a little issue I did forget to mention. Quins were said to only be seen to foretell the birth of a great ruler, which is cool, but can also mean the death of the current ruler.
Okay.
Who I will remind you, this giraffe, who they believe is their form of a unicorn, was presented to.
Yeah. But see, and that's the thing. I mean, like, there could have been a political move about that. You know what I mean? Like, someone want to take the throne, make the king paranoid or something. Like, yeah.
I do think it was just an unfortunate thing of look at this creature that we happened to find. We found a unicorn while we were in East Africa. The king was like, actually, I wrote here, the emperor dismissed the draft as a fraud and did not go and did go on to live for another decade. But I just like the idea that he's like, that's not one of them. You're lying to me. Which they weren't lying, but yeah, it wasn't one. Legend says Confucius, the Chinese philosopher, was the last person to have seen a Klin.
That's the thing. I mean, philosophers are fun and everything, but they do get a little bit creative with their writing.
So Japan also has one, kind of. Theirs is called a kirin, which, if you know anything about Japanese words, is that the Japanese love to take words from different countries and contexts and go, that's fun how you're saying it, but I'm going to say it in a Japanese way. And this is one of those words. They're just like, okay, it's kirin now. For example, cheeseburger is chizuburger in Japanese.
That's funny.
It's a combination of the Chinese and the European versions, because also that Japan, once they got opened up after isolation, was a little very interested, because it kind of had to be in trade with the European countries, especially French. So it got a lot of that. In modern day, it is more famously associated with a beer company called Kirin Ichiban.
Interesting. Okay.
So beer was involved, and it's not American. It's Japanese.
See, I could see some of these animals existing, because I mean, it goes back in Chinese history, really far back. People forget that our modern time is such a small amount of years. That they had before the Bible, it was hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah.
Is there possibly a dinosaur or something left behind? Yeah. I mean, birds are dinosaurs. They've said that birds are the dinosaurs that are left on Earth.
Alligators,
so it's I could see.
Yeah, alligators are older than grass.
I could see alligators.
Our breeds of grass that we have, for our lawns, alligators are older as a species.
Yeah.
And that kind of freaks me out a little bit.
I could see some of these animals really existing, and just because their culture's so old, and they did try to record stuff, but there was a time when there was an emperor that burned all the books. That's a whole other story. But I could see that mythological beast existing and then being passed down, and just no one has seen it, so they assume that it's just mythos, but it might have been a real animal, because we're really good at making animals extinct. If humans are good at one thing, it's making things go extinct.
Yeah. So one last quick one while we're in East Asia still. Vietnam has the Culi, first mentioned in 600 BCE during the Daong dynasty, appearing after a military victory to the emperor Daong Cao Tu. It was a symbol of wealth and prosperity for them. Now we're going to get into your and my favorite subject, of course, the Bible. We're into that. So there's a mistranslation from the Hebrew to Greek when the Bible was being written. Of course, there's
so much mistranslation. Yeah. A lot of things people argue is based on mistranslations. Yeah.
Especially from the King James version to the everything else. But we won't talk about that. The Hebrew word riem, which was the word used to describe the aurochs that we were talking about before, those ancient ox, was translated to the monokeros, as I mentioned before. So that, they just looked at that word and they're like, we're gonna call them one horns. That's what we're gonna call them. That's what they are now. Yeah, so as we learn, that's what we call unicorns. So that's why they're in the Bible. Because the Greeks went, let's just call them one horn. And then when we translate it to English, we're like, unicorns? And they're like, yeah, that's right. You heard us. So I said we were going to talk about the King James. I lied to you. The translators of the King James Version of the Bible, published in 1611, followed the Greek and Latin translation. An example being, quote, "Will the unicorn be willing to serve thee, or abid thy crib? Canst thou bund the unicorn with his band in the fora? Or will he harrow the valleys after thee? Wilt thou trust him, because his strength is great?" Job 39, 9-11. Another example being, quote, "God brought him forth out of Egypt. He hath as it were the strength of a unicorn. He shall eat up nations, his enemies, and shall break their bones and pierce them through with his arrows. numbers, I should say, 24:8. The American Standard Version is boring, and instead of using unicorns, they corrected the translation and just used the word wild ox instead, because we had to be boring. They say unicorns. So the
At least it's more accurate, like...
Okay, but like... Okay, sure. The Riem, our unicorn, was referred to as a symbol of strength, much like ox are today. And they were described to be wild and not able to be captured or tamed. So truly like the free spirit of something. This brings us to the medieval and the Renaissance times. Their appearance has changed now. Due to the rise in artwork depicting unicorns at this time, a more uniformed look came about. The idea of unicorns then is what we see today. It's a horse with a single horn on its head, and it might have like cloven hooves. Their horns were magical. They're known as alicorn, and Europeans only decided the unicorn's horn should be long, white, and spiraled after they began trading them. Yeah, you're gonna go, I can hear you going, what do you mean trading them, Joan? What do you mean?
What do you mean? What do you mean?
In reality, what they were trading, because they were trading something, were not unicorn horns, but narwhal tusks.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Narwhals were not well known in Europe at this time. This was determined by a 2004 study from the European Journal of Archaeology, which noted how there was plenty of writings and art of unicorn in the time period, while there is little to no writings or depictions of narwhals.
Yeah. Yeah, and there's a lot of people, too, that have also made them the mermaids. And mermaids were like a big thing during that time as well, right? And what's the other thing that they say was mermaids?
Oh, the sirens, but that's very highly
No, the other animal. There's another
manatees,
animal. Manatees, yeah. So, like, those two were, people think that they thought those were the mermaids kind of thing. So,
like the Greek belief, their horn was able to unpoison water and was a remedy for illness like epilepsy and even the plague.
Everything was a remedy for the plague back then because they were desperate.
And you know, like, things have changed nowadays, right? No one's selling miracle cures for things, right?
No. There's tons of people doing it.
Oh. Would you happen to have a series on that I could look at or see?
I mean, like, honestly, not necessarily in America and stuff, but if you go over into Asian countries, they are taking horns off animals and selling them as aphrodisiacs and cure-alls and things like that. So,
well, I was going to say supplements. It was like what I was thinking of nowadays.
Well, I mean, if you're just going to say, like, what's the version of snake oil? Yeah, like to a certain point, right? American especially. There's a whole thing I want to do on it, supplements, because I know a lot about it. But also, like, YouTube doesn't like if we give, like, medical advice. So I got to be, like, careful on how
I'm not giving medical advice. I'm just saying this seems akin.
No.
I'm more.
No,
I'm sorry,
you're
I'm
not
saying this for the algorithm. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I specifically.
Yeah, we're not doctors.
Yeah, we're not.
Yeah,
I have a warning
we're
that
not
says I'm not a doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm not any other kind of doctor. Don't listen. Actually, listen to me, but don't like take in what I'm saying. It's not advice.
Yeah.
So it wasn't common that folks were afraid of being poisoned. I do want to mention that because it makes it sound like it's a huge issue.
Well, it was common among royalty. And so royalty probably paid big money for these horns, right? Because all the time they were being poisoned. Like Queen Catherine there, the French court, she poisoned so many people. She was like the serpent queen. So, yeah. Poison was a big deal for upper class, and they had the money to pay for them.
So it's funny that you say that. So, for example, I wrote, Queen Elizabeth I was said to have owned a tusk worth 10,000 pounds, which was well over 10 million pounds today.
I could see that. I mean, if you think about it, because, I mean, her and Queen Mary Scots, they were trying to assassinate each other. Then she was trying to be assassinated by other people because she refused to take a husband like that. Yeah. So like that thing, royalty, there's a market to sell to them, but it's like limited because you only have so many rich, like it wasn't that many people. Right. So.
Well, they were also believed to prolong youth and be an aphrodisiac, as we've said before.
Yeah, she did really care about her like appearance and stuff.
Yeah.
Like she
Well,
didn't
I think
like
that's probably more
yeah.
what the general audience was buying them for, was to look younger. I think they didn't care. So they weren't like, oh no, I'm gonna get poisoned. But they were like, oh yeah, no, I want to look young and hot forever. Duh.
She did want that too. And that's the thing. I mean, that's what poisoned her in the end. Yeah, her makeup and also her teeth were very rotted out because she had a thing for sweets. So, yeah, it was real bad.
There's one other thing that horn does. Did you know that a unicorn horn is a virgin detector?
What?
Unicorns
Did royal people do this?
Unicorns could tell if someone, most likely a woman, was lying about
Yep.
being a virgin due to a secret ruby at the base of their horn.
This is like witch trial stuff. Like if you want to ruin a woman's reputation, then you could do it with this because it's all woo woo.
Don't worry, she
Yeah.
wouldn't have a reputation to ruin, because also they would kill you if you were lying. The unicorns
Yeah.
would kill you.
And that's the whole thing, right? It's just this is just like the witch trial stuff. It's just an excuse to kill a woman, like
Yeah.
pretty much. So yeah.
The unicorns were doing it though. So there's a lot of symbolism that unicorns have in general. So in Christianity, there is a medieval folktale which talks about hunting a unicorn. Basically, these men found a unicorn and they were chasing it all over the forest. Every time they could come close, the unicorn would run away again. That was until the unicorn came across a virginal maiden under the tree. Using the ruby, I assume. That's how he figured out she was a virgin, because I don't know how you would see a woman sitting under a tree and be like, virgin. Virgin alert over here.
God.
She coaxed him to rest with her, and she was stroking his mane and horn. Get your mind out of the gutter about that, but the unicorn came to rest his head on her lap, and the maiden had lulled the unicorn into a false sense of security. And when he saw tears in her eyes, he discovered her deceit. It was already too late. The maiden left feeling guilty for her part in trapping such a peaceful creature.
I feel like there's a lot of like misogynistic aspect to this story.
Well, there is. Oh, but wait, there's more. The story is told as an allegory to the relationship between Jesus and his mother. Yeah,
Oh,
the
man.
Virgin Mary, that one.
Yeah,
Artwork from this time would use the unicorn as a stand-in for Jesus.
that makes sense. I have seen a lot of artwork that had unicorns in it. So yeah.
Images of a unicorn horn purifying water was a symbol of Jesus' sacrifice to cleanse the sins of man. And due to their association with Christ, this may have been the time period to solidify the idea that all unicorns are males. Did you know that?
Well, yeah, I already imagined that the horn was a phallic symbol in these writers' minds anyway, so.
Yes. So canonically, in European mythology, they're all men. There are no lady unicorns, which is kind of funny. The other thing that unicorns highly symbolize is chivalry. Chivalry is a code knights followed with standards for religion, morals, and social interactions, aka more than just holding the door open for a lady. Like, there's a lot of things. So when you say chivalry is dead,
Yeah.
there's a lot more to chivalry than that.
Yeah, chivalry is like, it's a whole package, right? And
Yeah.
I know, that's what people forget. But yeah, and it makes sense because a lot of the artwork I seen sort of had like virgin, like girl, like sitting on a unicorn, and the unicorn would be like protecting her or taking her somewhere, like whatever. So it does track with the artwork, yeah.
Yeah. So knights and the lady whom they loved would be compared to a unicorn and a virgin, as you said.
Mhm.
Author Juliet Wood described it very nicely when she said, quote, "A lover is hunted by his love of the lady and, like the unicorn, wins her and becomes tamed as the husband," unquote. Is it
I
misogynistic?
guess.
It is, but that's the allegory for it.
Yeah. Like it feels like an attempt to remove the misogyny, but like it's still
No, it's still
misogynistic
there.
in a sense. And it's like, and the reality is too, like a lot of knights, they were in love with a woman they couldn't have. So like they would never be that
Well,
husband,
There's
Yeah.
there's a difference with chivalry too, because also you would have a wife sometimes, and then you would have a lady that might have a husband, and you are not you are not married to her.
Yeah.
she might give you
Chivalry doesn't
trinkets.
mean that,
Yeah.
like chivalry doesn't mean that you get to like have, do it with her.
Yeah.
Chivalry is like, a woman that you're trying to protect
Courtly
or whatever.
love
Yeah.
is like a political game as well. And like I keep bringing up Anne Boleyn, but Anne Boleyn's like one of those where like to court someone is not just dating. Like there is a lot that like if we're talking about it in this medieval time period, it is a political game that you're playing as well. It's a flirtatious political game.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it even was going on even into like the Victorian era and stuff.
Yeah.
Like there, people would marry for like combining families, wealth, whatever, power moves, things like that, right? I mean, if you watch Bridgerton, I know it's not like accurate, like all of it's accurate, but the dating, the whole matching people to marry upper class, like that part is accurate. And that's set in a time that's not that far.
We're going to move out of the Bible a little bit. The Celtic people of Scotland believed unicorns were the symbol of purity, innocence, masculinity, and power. Only select few could tame a unicorn. Scottish kings and virgin maidens. Those are the two groups. Have a ton in common.
Of course.
England is often known as the lion, as we've mentioned before.
Right. And they never seen a lion.
Yeah. And England has the lion as part of their coat of arms. The unicorn are the greatest enemy to the lion. In lore, obviously.
Well, I mean, I've seen that on a lot of artwork too. And I think in World of Warcraft, it's like there's like a unicorn versus a lion too.
Well, they're constantly clashing to be king of beasts. Like they're constantly going at each other. Much like England and Scotland. We're going at each other. So the lion was said to rule with valor, while the unicorn ruled with harmony. So over here, we have England's coat of arms, and we have Scotland's coat of arms, and this is now the United Kingdom's coat of arms.
Right. Yeah, this all looks familiar now. Yeah, it makes sense. Combine them together kind of thing.
Wow.
And they had the peacock tail in there, too. I think the peacock actually was something as well.
Possibly. They also
the
have
peacock was a symbol
heart.
for something.
This is one of the reasons why James II made the unicorn the coat of arms in the 1500s, was because of the idea of trying to rule with harmony instead of valor. He was the one who had it put on the emblems, shield, and coins for Scotland. There's another legend which claims the unicorn was seen as early as the 12th century on the Scottish coat of arms belonging to King William I. Ironically, he was called King William the Lion.
Really?
Yes.
That's so funny. Oh my gosh.
When unicorns began appearing on coat of arms, often depicted with a collar and a broken chain around its neck to represent its inability to be caught and tamed, suggesting those with it as a coat of arms would not live under anyone's rule.
I like that though.
It's
I
really
like
nice.
that symbolism.
And that's why also, I don't know if I mentioned here, the unicorn is Scotland's national animal.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Yeah, and they're very proud of it, and I love that. Quickly, we're also gonna jump to another guy. You might have heard of him, especially when you're playing at the pool, Marco Polo. So he saw a unicorn during his travels, and he said the following quote:
"Gosh,
there are wild elephants and plenty of unicorns, which are scarcely smaller than elephants. They have the hair of a buffalo and feet like an elephant. They have a single large black horn in the middle of the forehead. They have a head like a wild boar and always carry it stooped towards the ground. They spend their time by preference wallowing in the mud and slime. They are very ugly brutes to look at. They are not at all such as we described them when we relate, and they let themselves be captured by virgins," unquote. So they're smaller than elephants. We're in Africa, by the way.
I mean,
smaller than
yeah.
elephants.
I mean, it sounds like they're still talking. They're talking about a rhino again.
They are talking about a rhino. Yay! Fleureo, you get the prize. There's no prize, but you get it. And now we're going to go to our other favorite time period, the Victorian era. Images of the unicorn became popular again in the Victorian era with the rediscovery of the Lady and the Unicorn tapestries. Here we go. And you might have seen these.
Yeah.
They're French. I'm not going to even try to pronounce the French term.
I think they're on some playing cards, too, from the French.
Are also all based on different senses. So there's sense of touch, sense of hearing, sense of taste, the sense of smell, sense of sight, and sense... Those are our 5 senses. I think the middle one is just like it all together. These were made in the 1500s and considered one of the greatest pieces of medieval art. Victorians liked how romantic the story of the unicorn was, and as well as its association with purity and chivalry because we're in the Victorian era.
Yeah.
I saw one source saying that the Victorians had unicorn porn.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah. I only saw it from one source, but they did say.
Like, to be fair, I don't know. I think there's like some weird fascination with horse stuff. Because I don't know if you ever like looked up stuff about Catherine the Great. They started rumors saying that she was like, doing it with her horses, and that she built a machine to be able to do it with a horse. But they were trying to discredit her, like they didn't like her. She was a new age queen and took over the whole country. So
all I know about Catherine the Great is from the show The Great. That's all I know, unfortunately, and I don't know how historically accurate it is.
That show is really good, and it's like anything to do with her husband is not historically accurate.
Okay.
She took the throne from him like immediately. And he was gone, and then he disappeared somewhere. So any of the love story crap, no, that's not accurate.
Okay.
But that's the fun part of the show, though, to be honest. All the other stuff, like all of her like big moves that she makes politically, those are accurate. Those are things she did do. And people hating her, that's accurate.
Yeah.
That was accurate.
That sounds accurate. Also in the Victorian era, just going back there for a little bit, this is when they said that unicorns started being associated with rainbows, but I can't find anywhere that like strictly like says like this is where they were. It just, they're like, and like it's really frustrating when I remember reading these back a year ago, and it was just like, and this is where they started getting associated with rainbows, and I'm like, but where did it say that? So yeah, you're just gonna have to believe me on that one. I wrote here, I'm like, you're just gonna have to believe me. It just happened. So now we're at modern day. We are still making unicorns horny because a unicorn could be a person, typically a woman, who is single and open to sex with both or all genders, and an established couple and willing to join them for a threesome. That is a term for a unicorn.
So they were like the pineapple, like what the pineapple is now. Although I've heard that it changed. I heard it changed to a different fruit now.
Oh, no, let me be clear. It's not a symbol. It's just what you call that person. So if you're an established couple and you're looking for a third, who will usually heterosexual couples, so like who's willing to do it with either of you and is single and doesn't want to like join your relationship, they're called a unicorn. You're looking for a unicorn.
Oh, so like, is that where maybe the term came from? Like, where you describe something perfect or like the perfect type of person or like whatever, and then people call that a unicorn?
I've heard that like when you're looking outside of a relationship, the white rhino of something, like that's my white rhino.
Oh.
I've heard the unicorn.
I've never heard that. No, I mean like, okay, like you're single. Yeah. You're like, you have this list of things you want for the perfect guy, right? That list is a unicorn.
Okay,
like that. That's just, you're never going to find that person. If you ever do, it's a unicorn. Like that's like a term,
it's
right?
Probably for the same reason, because the reason you call like a third person a unicorn is because it's extremely rare. And like
that's
magical when you do come by it is the idea.
Yeah, that's what it is. So that's interesting. I guess that term then started in the Victorian era and now it's carried on through. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, of course, especially because the month that we're in, because even though we're not recording this in June, it will be shown in June, there's a high LGBTQIA plus relationship with the unicorn, most likely for the same reasons of the idea of it being magical and rare and somewhat to do with sex a little bit.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's interesting because I never seen like heavy unicorn usage here with the LGBTQ plus community.
I think it's less in modern day, but like in early movements, like someone describing themselves as like a unicorn and being like rare and beautiful. And also it's a lot to do with that Victorian feeling of like it's beautiful and it's pure, but also it's still somehow masculine. It still represents the masculine. So especially with like gay men and seeing it like that way. But I agree with you. I don't think I've seen it necessarily within my time period, but I do feel like there's a lot of like unicorn representation 90s time period.
Maybe. I don't know. Like I grew up but I'm in Canada. I don't know. Yeah. I grew up in the LGBTQ plus community. Like every weekend downtown, or not downtown Toronto, but like there's a section of Toronto that's like where the gay people live, kind of. It's like I can't remember where it is. I mean, it's probably considered downtown at this point.
I know in Montreal they
I
have like
can't
a
remember
street
where
that's
it
called like
is.
Gay Town or something. Like it's very blunt about what it is.
Yeah, ours is like, it's not like called like gay anything, but
Yeah.
it'll be like, oh, this little suburb section or whatever, and that's
Yeah.
where all the gay people were. But yeah, so like I kind of grew up in all that. But I don't ever remember unicorns. However, I was like really obsessed with unicorns when I was a kid, so like maybe there was some around, and I just never, like, it never registered, because like they would just buy me unicorn stuff, because my mom and it was my uncle Tony, and he
Yeah.
passed from HIV during that time too, so it was crazy time. But yeah, like they would just buy me unicorn stuff all the time when I was that young. I just remember that. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think it has a lot to do with the idea of it's something that's very feminine, but at the same time represents something masculine in the past. So, and like that.
I could see it maybe being like a gay man thing, like, because I knew a little bit about some of those relationships when I was young, but more like when I was older, I kind of, I guess, learned more about gay men. But I'm only really familiar with, like, I guess, women more so,
Which
and
is
I think that's maybe
yeah.
a little bit different.
Which is like
Yeah.
completely fair. And also like we're also getting out of the time period. I'm not saying we're out of it. We're getting out of the time period where we see gay as a monolith for men. We're like, oh, it's just like a really effeminate man. Like that's what makes a gay man. And like that's not necessarily true. It's almost like
Yeah, I mean,
everyone comes in
like
different
what
shapes
people
and
thought in the
sizes.
80s and 90s. Yeah,
Yeah.
people thought that. Like, kids, yeah, there's like femboys that are totally straight. So,
Yeah.
but, and that's where, I mean, people nowadays are scared of all this. I don't know why. This was like Greek and Romans did it. We could do it too.
Almost like gender's a social construct and we don't have to follow it if we don't want to. Mostly because gender
And it
has
was
also changed.
kind of, yeah, and honestly, it was really more of a bigger deal during certain periods of time. And in America, before 1950, it actually wasn't a huge thing. 1950 happened after the war. That's when they started the trad wife crap. We really weren't doing that trad wife stuff for very long, but all those women were heavily medicated. And I'm like, I don't know why you guys want to go back in time. Like, they
Yeah.
were heavily medicated the whole time.
But also not,
Yeah.
that was also a one type of income looking family.
We can't do that
wasn't
anymore
the traditional
nowadays.
rules for everybody.
Yeah.
Like people have been like people have had double income for a long time because that's how they have to afford
Well,
things.
nowadays, like, just there's absolutely no way you'd have to be married to like a billionaire or something. Like, it's
Yeah.
just, it's too difficult.
Well,
So
let me explain this way.
yeah.
It's not that there's no way, but like as someone who's like looking into having children, like I've had to sit down with my husband and go, would daycare cost more than like what either of us make in a like income? And like
Yeah.
with us combined, we make more than like, so like daycare would be affordable. The only families I've known
Mhm.
who like I'm getting out of the workforce is because daycare would have cost them more money.
Yeah, I think, like, I mean, not to be on a side tangent, but I think
Yeah.
it's worth it if it's not super over your budget, just because, like, trying to get back into the workforce like 5 years later can be really difficult. So
Yeah.
it's like, it's kind of better to keep your job going as a woman. I mean, as a woman, I'm not talking about the men. The men are easier, but yeah, it's but yeah, it's just like, yeah. And then the trad wife stuff is just like, okay, well, if you have a kid, people can't afford life with children and a spouse. Like, just one income is not, it doesn't cut it, right? So,
No.
and it's kind of crappy to expect your wife to work full time and then do everything around the house and you just do nothing. So that's crazy to me.
Yeah, don't do that. Who's doing that? Stop it. Don't do that.
Lots of people are.
I'm telling them to stop it.
Yeah.
And then my
Get out of the manosphere.
Yeah. My last little section here is just movies. And as you mentioned, The Last Unicorn, I know a lot of people grew up loving that movie. You said you read the book, but like I know a lot of people love the movie.
I don't even know if I watched the movie.
Oh,
It was the
really?
book that I don't remember. I don't think I watched it. I don't know. When did the movie come out? Let's see.
80s?
What year? The Last
It was an animated
Unicorn.
film. I know I've watched it. I just haven't seen it in a while.
1982. Yeah, maybe I think yeah, the art looks familiar. I think I watched it, but it was the book. Like, we
Yeah.
would read the book every night. So I'm not sure if I read it first or if I watched the film first. I probably read it because my mom was like one of those, you're going to be a genius, so you're going to read everything.
We just had a rule that you had to read the book before you watched the movie in our house. They didn't think I was going to be a genius.
My mom sent me like one of those daycare things where they teach you like your phonics, like the Hooked on Phonics kind of program. And like by the time I hit kindergarten, I was reading at like a grade 3 level or something because she sent me to that daycare. So
that's fun. I did Hooked on Phonics because I'm dyslexic. I didn't do it because I thought I was smart.
And it was a different program at my daycare. It was called something else, but it was like these little monsters, like Monsters Inc. kind of monsters. And there's like this little dude and you like hit. Okay, it was fun. It was a little game.
Okay.
And his eyes would light up when you hit the right letters for things in your book that you're working on. So it was cute. Yeah. But then I started having nightmares that these monsters were coming for me. I don't even know why I started having these nightmares, but the monsters from the Hooked on Phonics, but it was a different program. But so then they were coming for me at night, and then that's when my mom taught me how to lucid dream to make the nightmares stop, and then so that's how I learned how to lucid dream. So
I like how your mom caused the problem of you having these nightmares, and she's like, "Oh shit, I gotta fix it now too."
But it's like so random because like I could like watch all sorts of stuff, read all sorts of crap that like didn't bother me, but the Hooked on Phonics monster scared me.
The last movie and the last thing, I haven't seen this movie. I don't know if you have, but A24 put out one called The Death of a Unicorn.
I mean, that sounds familiar.
I think it came out like a little over a year ago. I remember being advertised when I was in Ireland, and I went to Ireland April 2025.
Okay, yeah, it says 2025.
Yeah. I haven't seen it though.
No, I definitely wouldn't have watched this. This looks super bad. But it has a good cast. It has Jenna Ortega, Paul Rudd.
Sometimes I really like A24, and then sometimes I'm like, A24, what are you doing?
Well, I like I'm just seeing the poster, and it's the unicorn has like jaws, like like a shark or something, and it's like gonna eat her face.
Ooh.
So I'm just like, I don't think that I would watch this because that looks so stupid. But I do watch bad movies. Yeah, I don't know. This is weird. But there is other movies that involve unicorns too. In between,
I'm sure those are the big ones that came up at that time, like when I was searching a year ago. So thank you so much for joining me. But just before we go, where can people find your work?
Yeah, you can check me out at Fleureo Files. I'm on YouTube and all the other places, all the other socials.
All the other places. You just look in your closet and she might be there. Who knows? The image of the unicorn has changed drastically over the vast history of its mythology, from the once strong, elusive wild beast to now what we think of as a symbol of the softness of girlhood. Unicorns used to be lured in by maiden virgins. Now, the maiden virgins are lured in by unicorns. But what do I know? I'm just some lady talking about some frights. Thank you again to Fleureo for joining us. All of the links for her will be in the description down below. Please check out Fleureo's channel. She has so many great things happening. And some of them are even a little bit outside the paranormal realm right now. Gotta say, top tier research about it. So yeah, this specific episode has had a wild journey. I'm not going to get into the details of it now because it's just a tad dramatic and involves people that I don't necessarily associate much with anymore. But I actually wrote this script a year ago, and I was so excited to talk about unicorns, especially in the month of June, and with everything that needs to be celebrated in this month. And I found it a shame that I couldn't do it, so I'm really excited that it got life somewhere else. That being said, I'm going to wrap this up pretty quickly so we can get out there and celebrate because it's the summertime now, at least here in the States, and it is gorgeous out. I'm so excited. So if I could just please ask you to like, comment, or subscribe, because here at Ladies Fright, I like to offer 10%. 10% of what, I hear you asking? Well, it could be a couple of things. I mean, you could get 10% better at interior decorating. You could also get 10% less horny on Maine, or 10% more likely to find a lucky penny. But you won't know until you like, comment, or subscribe. Or do all three and it becomes 30% because it builds on itself. That being said, I'm gonna get out of here. Everyone, happy Pride. Bye.